Well, the corruption case against former President Jacob Zuma will be back in the Pietermaritzburg High Court this morning. But due to Zuma currently being in hospital, the National Prosecuting Authority has since confirmed that he will ask the court for a postponement. This follows the Department of Correctional Services having announced last week that the former statesman has been admitted to an outside hospital for medical observation. The NPA says, however, that it is ready to oppose Zuma's special plea for the recusal of prosecutor Billy Downer should the matter not be postponed today. Zuma is currently serving a 15-month jail term for contempt of court in a different matter. NPA spokesperson, Advocate Mthunzi Mhaga, joins us now for more. Advocate, good to have you. Thanks very much for your time.
Good morning, Leanne, and good morning to your viewers.
In light of the latest developments regarding the former president's hospitalisation and the almost inevitable request for yet another postponement, what is likely to transpire today?
Today, before the Pietermaritzburg High Court, Mr. Zuma's legal team will make a substantive application for a postponement of the case due to his hospitalization. However, as the matter stands, they need to support that application with a detailed affidavit from the doctor who examined him so that the state of health of Mr. Zuma can be laid bare in court for the record purposes. However, as the NPA prosecutors were ready to proceed and argue in opposition of the special plea that they had filed, because we believe it is frivolous and it has no merit and it should be dismissed.
So will the NPA, are you going to be opposing the postponement of this, the postponement application?
It is unlikely that we will oppose because he is hospitalized, but that will be informed by the doctor who examined him in terms of the affidavit that would have been filed, because we need to examine that affidavit as well and satisfy ourselves that he is indeed sick and unable to attend court.
Is there any legal basis on which the court could deny the postponement application? I mean, seeing that his legal team should be able to advance arguments on his behalf.
The court will assess the affidavit that would have been filed by Mr. Zuma's lawyer from the doctor who examined him. If it is satisfied on the contents and the veracity thereof, it will then grant the postponement. But if it has some questions or not satisfied at all or persuaded by their application, it may dismiss the application.
Yeah. They're also expected to further argue for, again, as you mentioned in the beginning, and you're ready for this as well, to further argue for the removal of Chief Prosecutor Billy Downer from the case. Now, do you think there is any weight to this particular aspect of the defence's case?
I lost you there, and can you come again with your question?
Indeed. Just in terms of the issue of Downer, they also expected to argue for the removal of Downer from the case. Do you think there is any weight to this particular aspect of the defence's case?
Leanne, you're breaking.
All right. Let me just try one more.
Leanne, we will vigorously argue and oppose that application. The line is very bad, Leanne.
Yeah, I gathered that. If you are able to hear me, I suppose I'll just throw the word Downer at you, and I think you've probably got an answer for that one. Any weight with regard to the aspect of the defence's case with regard to the removal of Downer from this?
There is no weight at all. That's why we will vigorously argue for that application to be dismissed with cost, because it has no merit. Remember, their argument is that Billy Downer doesn't have a title to prosecute, and we'll counter that to say Mr. Billy Downer was authorized by the Director of Public Prosecutions in KwaZulu-Natal to prosecute this matter and to be a lead prosecutor. So there's no merit to that application. It will be dismissed. We will argue for that dismissal.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, this is all depending on with regard to the health of the former president and what happens there. I mean, if we do see a postponement coming and then we see a further postponement coming once again, if the former president again says, and his legal team say that he is just not well enough to proceed with this, what happens? Then where does this leave this case?
We can only proceed in the presence of an accused person in terms of the Criminal Procedure Act, unless the circumstances are such that he cannot be before court, then the matter may proceed. But that is very unlikely. We will have to wait until he recovers from his illness. Unfortunately, these are circumstances that are beyond our control. I suspect that it may be given a long postponement so that he can be given enough time to recover from his ailment.
All right, so this is a real wait-and-see game, and as you say, out of everyone's hands right now due to the health of the former president, and we're not too sure what is going to happen here. So in court today, just to, I suppose, talk to expectations, it's going to be a virtual sitting, so everybody will be there, but in a virtual manner. The former president, will he be there virtually?
We have confirmed that he will not be in attendance. He will not even connect virtually because he is sick. But it's going to be a virtual hearing where the parties will argue the postponement. The defense team will stand up and apply for the postponement, which should be substantial given the fact that they will support it with the affidavit of the doctor who examined him. And then our team will also be given an opportunity to make submissions, after which the judge will make a ruling on the application for a postponement. And if he is satisfied with their application, he will then grant it. If not, he will dismiss it.
All right. There's obviously, I know you've got to go, so we just want to talk to one more case that is coming up. It's another big case. The suspended ANC Secretary General Ace Magashule, also expected back in court, and this is tomorrow. Are you ready for this particular matter?
We are ready to proceed with a pre-trial conference that is taking place tomorrow in Bloemfontein, where the judge will assess the state of readiness of both parties so that he can proceed to determine a trial date, which will be in the High Court, because the matter is justiciable before the High Court.
So that is the process that's going to happen tomorrow. Again, possibly a very, very short appearance, determining a court date.
There will be discussion between the two parties in terms of the state of readiness, in terms of exchanging documents in the form of state witnesses and any exhibits that are in possession of the state in order for the defense to prepare for their defense. Once those preliminary issues have been ironed out, the judge will then get the parties to engage and decide on a trial date. So it's going to be a very short postponement. Hearing tomorrow.
All right, we'll leave it there for this morning. Advocate, thanks very much for your time. I know you have to run off. Thanks. That was the NPA spokesperson, Advocate Mthunzi Mhaga, talking to us about what is likely to transpire at the Pietermaritzburg High Court, which is due to hear the corruption case against former President Jacob Zuma this morning. You did hear that the former president is not going to be present at all this morning. And, this is going to be arguing for the postponement. And then, of course, tomorrow as well, the case against suspended Secretary General Ace Magashule, ANC Secretary General. So that's another thing to look at tomorrow.